How's it going, everybody? C-RadTV back here with another video. So, of course, we had last week the first round of the NFL postseason has started. And, of course, last week we chopped the field down from 14 teams to 8 teams. And now this week we'll be heading into the second round of the NFL postseason with the divisional round with our top 8. So, of course, this week we will be chopping the playoff field down in half, as we'll be going from 8 teams to 4 teams. So 4 teams will move on to the next round, and 4 more will be sent to the elimination station. So, of course, last week in the postseason round wildcard picks, I went 3-3 in those games. So my overall record this year goes to 166-97. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the 4 divisional round games this week and see what we got in store. So the first game we're going to go over here, of course, the first of the divisional games, Saturday, 4:15 start. We have the Los Angeles Rams and the Green Bay Packers playing in Lambeau Field. Green Bay's favored in this game by 7 points. So, of course, the Rams, they're coming off a road win against the Seahawks last week in the wild card round. Green Bay, of course, is on the round 1 bye. And I'll be honest, the Rams winning on the road, I didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be a close game, but the Seahawks would pull it off. But hey, give a shout out to the Rams. You know, one of the things that really did the Seahawks in last week was their inefficiency on defense, couldn't make the key stops when it matters, and then the offensive line not giving Russell any protection. And then, the Seahawks just made so many crucial mistakes, and the Rams took full advantage of it. Man, we have fumble and a couple interceptions. You gotta give the Rams defense credit for it. Yeah, of course, for this game, in terms of the injury report for the Rams, in terms of key playmakers from this week, Cooper Kupp's questionable with a knee injury. Aaron Donald questionable with a rib injury. Terrell Lewis, he's questionable with an ankle injury. And Taylor Rapp, the safety for the Rams, he suffered a knee injury last week and is now on the IR. Also, real quick, give your prayers to John Wolford, the backup QB for the Rams, because that was a gruesome neck injury he suffered last week. And, of course, I'm being carted out of the stadium to the hospital for it. So, yeah, prayers to Wolford for that, from that injury. For the Packers, two players to note that are still on the injury report. We got Zadarius Smith questionable with an ankle injury. Kevin Keen's questionable with an Achilles injury. And I know a lot of people are saying the Rams can be a team that can go on the road and win in Lambeau. I'm not buying it. Like, the last team to beat the Packers in Lambeau, it was an NFC West team in the 49ers. Back in the 2013-2014 wild card round. And that was when the 49ers had Colin Kaepernick at quarterback. Green Bay hasn't lost at home in the playoffs since then. But like I said in the playoff bracket video last week, it's extremely tough and difficult to play at Lambeau Field in January. Like, there's a true home field advantage there at Lambeau in the cold. Even without fans, there's still a huge advantage there for the Packers. And like I said, if the weather elements line up perfectly for the Packers, Green Bay can run the table in the postseason. So yeah, for this one, I don't see the Rams getting it done on the road. I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I'll take Green Bay plus the points. So give me Green Bay to cover the 7-point spread. I'll take Green Bay to cover. So next game we're going to go over here. We have the Saturday night game at 8:15. We got the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills playing in Buffalo. Bills are favored by 2 points. Of course, both teams played in the wild card round last week. The Ravens came off a win against the Titans on the road. The Bills came off a nail-biting win at home against the Colts. Both teams played extremely well, especially the Ravens. Like, the Ravens were able to stop the run, and they dethroned King Henry. And congrats to Lamar Jackson on finally winning a playoff game and winning a game that matters. So congrats to him. Maybe now Lamar Jackson can be taken a little serious now. But we're going to need to see some consistency out of him. Can he continue to win more big games in the future? That's going to be the big question here. So yeah, 2 points. It's going to be a very close game. I could see this being a very close game. So of course, some key injuries on the injury report. Baltimore only has one key injury, and that's Matthew Judon. He's questionable for this game with an illness. This illness is not COVID related, so he's still eligible to play. If he's able to, he's still eligible to play. For Buffalo, they got a couple injury reports on here. We got Cole Beasley, who's questionable with a knee injury. Stephon Diggs is questionable with an oblique injury. Ed Oliver's questionable with an ankle injury. And you got Tremaine Edmonds also questionable with hamstring injury. So a couple key playmakers that may not play for the Bills that could make a big difference. But Josh Allen really had a really good game. And like I said before, Josh Allen has played lights out against very good defenses. It doesn't even, really, it just shows so far that it doesn't matter how good your defense is. Josh Allen has been able to pick it apart. But yeah, Josh Allen, I think he could do it again. Plus, the Bills have been extremely good at home this year. So yeah, this is going to be a tough game. You can make a solid argument for either team here. But this one, I'm going to give the edge to the Bills. I'll take Buffalo to win this game over Baltimore. So give me Buffalo to cut, and I'll take Buffalo to cover the spread. So yeah, give me Bills plus the points. I'll take Buffalo. To cover. So the next game we're going to go over here, we're getting into the Sunday games now. So the first Sunday game we got at 3:05 p.m. We got the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs playing in Kansas City at Arrowhead. The Chiefs are favored in this game by 10 points. The Browns, of course, last week, they're coming off a big wild card upset win against the Steelers last Sunday night. And of course, the Chiefs were on the bye last week, being the number 1 seed. So real quick, I want to congratulate the Cleveland Browns though on their first playoff win in 25-26 years. So yeah, hey, you know what? The Browns fans badly need a playoff win. So congrats to Cleveland. And shocking everyone. And the Browns were able to win that game without a head coach because Stefanski was unable to coach the game since he was put on the COVID list. But this week, Stefanski will be back. But yeah, in terms of the 10-point spread, I think favoring a team over by double digits in the playoffs is ridiculous. I think I almost want to take Cleveland because of that spread. That spread's way too high. I think it's ridiculous to favor a team by over 10 points in the postseason. But yeah, at that point, you're just asking to get upsetted. But, hey, of course, one of the big things to help Cleveland last week was the fast start Cleveland had to open that game, with the Browns going up 28-0 after the first quarter. And keep one thing in mind here. Last year in the playoffs, the Chiefs trailed by double digits in every game and then came back and won. So really, the Chiefs, they've been used to having slow starts, but once they get going, they're unstoppable. So yeah, I say this for Kansas City. I don't think you're gonna have that kind of run the second year in a row. I think if the Chiefs really want to make a statement this week, they gotta get off to a quick start and not let Cleveland do to them what they did to Pittsburgh last week. Just keep this in mind, Cleveland. Pittsburgh and Kansas City are two different teams. Pittsburgh normally has a knack of playing down the competition and letting games be more competitive than it should be. Kansas City's the team to beat this year. You want to make a statement? How about you knock out the reigning champs? So in terms of Cleveland's injury report, we got Goodson. He's still questionable with a shoulder injury, and Denzel Ward still on the COVID reserve list. For the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is questionable with an ankle injury. Tyreek Hill is questionable with a hamstring injury. Sammy Watkins questionable with a calf injury. Willie Gay questionable with an ankle injury. And DeAndre Baker is already confirmed to be out with a leg injury. But yeah, of course, Mahomes, though. Mahomes will make anybody look good. And of course, you still got Le'Veon Bell, too. But still, this is going to be a really tough game to call. I want to get fooled by that point spread. I think this game could be a bit more competitive than it should be. And the Browns are going to be riding that big wave of momentum by winning that playoff game. But now going on the road to Arrowhead, I don't see the Browns pulling off it again. But hey, Cleveland, regardless of what happens, be proud of your season this year. A lot of people didn't have any expectations for you this year after you disappointed everybody last year, but this year you went out and proved everyone wrong. So Cleveland, regardless of what happens, be proud of your season this year. So yeah, for this game, I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game. I'm not going to take the 10-point spread. I think that spread's too high. I'll take the Chiefs by 7. I say Chiefs win by 7, but no more than 10, but no more than 9. You know what, fuck it, I'll say Chiefs by 8 points exactly. So I'll take the Chiefs by 8. Exactly 8. I think it's gonna, I don't see it, I can't take that spread. That spread's too high. I'm not taking that point spread. But yeah, I'll take Chiefs by 8. And the final game in the divisional round we're going to go over, we have the Sunday game at 6:40 p.m., the Sunday night game. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints playing down in New Orleans at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Saints are favored in this game by 3 points. So, of course, on both teams, they both played to 2 teams in the playoffs that didn't deserve to be there. Of course, Tampa Bay, they're coming off the win on the road last week against the Washington No-Skins. The No-Skins being a team that didn't deserve to be in the postseason. And, of course, on the Saints, they're coming off that home win against the Bears. And the Bears didn't deserve to be in the postseason either. But, yeah, so yeah, both teams... So, yeah, in terms of the Tampa Bay-Washington game, Washington, I'll give them kudos. They actually played really competitive. Especially Taylor Heineken. He almost pulled off the upset against Brady and the Bucs, but he just Washington didn't have enough to compete with Tampa Bay. But yeah, and of course, the Saints, man, the Saints looked incredibly sloppy against Chicago. Like, I was watching that game, like, the Saints just looked bad against Chicago. They just looked incredibly sloppy. Like, Chicago, one of the main reasons... Like, Chicago could have even won that game, but they made a couple crucial mistakes, and the Saints were able to hold on. Like, the Saints just had a sloppy game, but hey, at the end of the day, it's just at the end, there are just some games you match up well against some teams, and some games you don't. And, of course, this is a divisional matchup. We get Brady versus Drew Brees in the playoffs. So yeah, and of course, for the Buccaneers, Michelle McCoy and Ronald Jones are both questionable. McCoy questionable with an illness, not COVID related, and Jones is questionable with a quad injury. The Saints have nobody of note or interest on the injury report yet. So yeah, and of course, we all know in the regular season that the Saints swept the regular season series, winning both games in convincing fashion, including handing Brady the worst loss of his career on Sunday night. Earlier this year when a 38-3 ass whooping. But yeah, I want to get fooled by what happened in the regular season. The regular season is one thing, the postseason is a whole different animal. And I'll say this though, you never sleep on Tom Brady in the playoffs. You can't doubt Brady in the playoffs. Like, Brady always has that switch he always hits in the postseason. And we all know in the Saints the last couple years, they've had a pretty big knack of choking in the postseason. Whether it be off their own doing or off controversial ref ball, you name it. Take your fucking pick, I guess, LOL. So yeah, and so far in the postseason this year, we've had 2 matchups between divisional rivals in the postseason. And in both those matchups, the team on the road has won both matchups. The Rams, of course, knocked off the Seahawks last week. And the Browns, of course, shocked the world and upsetted the Steelers on primetime last week. So, when I say this year division matchups, it'll be the road team goes 3-0. So, yeah, I'm gonna go upset, and I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because I know a lot of people are going to pick the Saints just because of what happened in the regular season. But like I said before, the postseason is a way different animal than the regular season. And you can't sleep on Tom Brady. So you know what? I think it's going to be a close game. But in the end, I could see this game coming down to a controversial call. I think the Saints are going to be in a position. I think the Saints either are going to have a late fourth quarter lead or they're going to be in position to try and take the lead late in the fourth quarter. But I think it's going to end in another controversial call for the Saints. I think it's going to be another controversial ref ball decision that ends up costing the Saints in this game. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers on the road in this game. I'll take Tampa Bay plus the points. So I'll take Tampa by 3. I'm going to take the Buccaneers on the road. Plus, part of me feels like that a lot of people want to see Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady for the NFC title. But like I said, Saints, if you don't win the Super Bowl this year, consider this year a failure. It's title or bust. So yeah, I think I think Tampa Bay is going to win, and I think Saints are going to choke. So yeah, give me the Buccaneers on the road in this one. But yeah, those are my divisional picks. What's your picks? Who will be the 4 teams representing the championship round? Let's find out. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope everyone has a great day, and yeah, peace.